Hello everybody. So let's learn what Google Forms is. Okay, today. I realize that most of us need a few to learn new things, to explore new things, and this video will help you do so by teaching you what Google Forms and how it can be used by teachers in classroom. Okay, you can use it for other purposes as well, but let's learn about Google Forms first. Google Forms can be used by teachers because I'm focusing on teachers, so I'll be using a lot of teachers and student word here. Okay, so as a means to evaluate their students very effectively in classes, may it be online or offline classroom, doesn't really matter. They can use this Google Forms anywhere, anytime to evaluate their students. Okay, now let's look into what Google Form is. Google Form is an online platform where you can create surveys, assignments, or even collect information on a large base. Okay, in a large scale at once. You don't have to go to person. You can just send it out immediately, and you can get multiple informations at the same time. So that's how Google Forms helps you a lot, and it's a much faster and a much easier resource, a reliable resource. Okay, it also helps you in converting all the data that you have accumulated into an Excel sheet, so you don't have to worry about again multiple entries in multiple sheets. You can extract the data immediately into an Excel sheet. Okay, and will help you analyze all your data that you have obtained. Now let's look into the steps of creating a Google form. You can go to your email and click on the box icon on top next to your account name, or right between the account name and the settings. Once you click on that, go to your drive, open your drive, and once you open the drive, you can see a new option. When you click on the new option, the following dialog box opens up with all the following information, where you can see one of the option is Google Forms. Once you click on it, a new Google form will open where you can start working. Okay, also know that you don't have to go to your mail in case you're on your phone. You can directly go create a Google form. If it is on your phone, you can download the Google Form app where you can create and send, or you can go to Google Chrome directly using search engine, Google search engine, search for the option that you're looking, and click on, if it is for the personal use or if you're using for the work space, you can select whichever is your need, and you can click on blank sheet, and immediately the worksheet for you will be opened. Also remember, when you're directly going through Google search engine, remember that you need to stay signed in your Google account, because in case the power goes off, in case you have any trouble and you are not able to save, or don't worry about any of those. Google Forms are automatically saved, auto saved, and all the files are saved in your Google Drive. Okay, so you can go to the drive directly and search for the file that you are working on, and you can make any needful changes or work further on, so you don't have to worry in wasting time or loss of data or anything in case you forget to save the file when you're working on a PC. Okay, so you have nothing to worry about. It's completely safe and saves a lot of time. So let's look into the various options. So once you click on Google Forms, when you've opened it, this is the page how it looks like, which has various options. You have a question page, response page, you have an untitled form. That's where it's named untitled form by default. You can change the name and put the needful. You can name the file. You also can add description. Description is optional, but as we know, instructions are the very basic needs that one should be given to everybody, like when you're conducting a test. What are the needs that you need to follow, or the criterias? So you can add it in the description, the set of instructions that the student needs to follow during the test that they are undertaking. Okay, so we also have additional options in the right next to the question work area. Let's explore the additional options, and then let's go to the settings option. Okay, so in the additional options, we have the plus icon, import icon, the text icon, image, video, and section icon. Plus icon helps you add another question. The icon helps you to import in case there is a file that you have already worked on previously and you want to import those questions to this new Google form that you're creating, you can do that by selecting that. You can also add a title in the middle of in 5 questions or 6 questions you want to change and give a new heading. There you can use the title option and give a new heading. You can also add images in case you want to ask a question based on that, or anything related questions. You can add an image and you can write the instructions what you need to follow and how. You can also embed videos where the student needs to watch the video and answer, or any questions based or video question can be performed, can be asked. Okay, I think using images and videos are the best way to teach, because it always grabs students' attention, and they're like, okay, there's something new happening in class. It is the best way to develop curiosity and interest in students. And also maybe research skills also can be developed, because when you put a video, students start thinking because they are able to visualize the concepts. So I think using images and videos are the best way to teach. Also we have a section option here, where you can create a section. If you want section A to be one set of questions, section B to another set of questions, you can select the section bar. It will divide your Google form into different sections, and it will display has different pages for the quizzer or the student who is taking up the quiz. So this is your work area where you will be able to add your question and add your options. In case you want the quizzer or the student to answer to write an option, you always have other. So you just have to click on add other, and when the quizzer is taking, in case none of the above is the following answer that he is looking for, you can always click on other and write down what the answer is, or what he prefers is the right answer. You also have an option, a drop down option, where you can select from many of options of what kind of questions you want to select. Maybe short, we'll look into that shortly. You can also add an image to this question, so you can make this an image based question answer or a multiple choice. Okay, that is this important option here below. You can see required. In case you think following information is very important and that cannot be missed out by anybody, in case somebody forgets, and so to avoid that, what we can do is we can click on required. So just click it on. So what happens is the quizzer or the student or anybody who is taking up the quiz or any answering the Google form that you have sent will not be able to submit it, or will be able to go to the next section until and unless that particular question is answered. So that is what required does. It makes your question super important that they cannot ignore it. Okay, you have also a duplicate option and a delete option. Yeah, so these are the various questions that you can frame: short answers, paragraph, multiple choice, choose box, drop down, upload a file, linear scale, multiple choice, tick box, date and time. So let's look into a few of them. Okay, the multiple choice is directly where you have given options and where they have to select one of the answers. Short answer helps the student to type out few sentences, maybe 1 or 2 sentences max. Paragraph helps you to type more than 2 paragraphs. I mean two lines or more, maybe up to, I think it's a limit of more than approximately 50 words, because I've only experienced that much. Basically my students don't answer so much. 2 or 3 paras, they only answer approximately 50 to 100 words. So yeah, so I'm pretty sure it'll accommodate 75 to 100 words according to my experience. That much is what I've observed. We also have checkbox where you can where the quizzer can choose multiple answers. If you have 2 or more answers, I think the checkbox would be the perfect answer solution, where you can use, where they can select more than 2 options. Then you have a drop down. If you have a set of questions, you can directly set of answers for a particular question, and you want to choose, for example, choose the following answer from the following. So you can use a drop down where the student can select the one from the following options. And we have a linear scale. Linear scale is more used for feedback, taking feedbacks, or if you want to rate somebody or something, or anything that you are asking for example, how did you like the picnic party that you went for this year? So you can ask them to rate. You can use such questions. You also have a multiple choice grid where the student will be able to choose from this. You have same options for all the following questions. You can use the multiple choice. In case you want a student, if you want to allow students to tick more than one or two options here, what you can do is there is another option right below this telling tick box grid. You can choose that where it will allow you to tick multiple options. Okay, and let's look into the last option, that is the date and time. In case you want to enter date, which date you entered this form, and time, you have separate questions where you can select. Okay, so all the students who enter the date will be in the same format and time. So few of them have the habit of writing 24 hours clock time, 12 hours clock time. So to avoid confusion or to avoid difference, you can have everybody's data in the same order. You can use this. You can customize it the way you want it. So this way you get the data the way you want it, and it's pretty simple to analyze. Okay, so let's look into the other set of options. We have three major options: the theme option, the preview option, the setting option. So let's look into the theme option, review option, and settings option a little detailedly. The theme option helps you customize your layout, the questionnaire layout, how you want it, and so and so. So you can also add a image on top if you had an image. So what this image looks like, you can change this to different quiz. So if you want to put a library ka image, you can put the library image, or if you want to have a bold poster over here, you can do that. All that you have to do is click on image upload and upload the image from your PC or from the drive, wherever you have saved it. So it's that simple. So you can make your Google form look very creative. You can also you can also add the theme color, which color theme that you want to the Google form. We also have a background color and a font style. So you have different font styles here where you can make your Google forms look very attractive and nice. They say presentation is the most important thing, right? So let's present it. Let's make as teachers, let's portray ourselves the best way that we can, so that we can encourage students to become better people in life. So that's way. It's just creative. Let's just be creative towards everything. Okay, I feel that personally. So that's it. Let's then go to the preview option. The preview option helps you to view the Google Forms, the questionnaire that you have created, how it looks when it is sent out to be answered. So you can have a personal look at how it looks when it has been opened in a phone or in the system. And in case you want to make any changes or any few adjustments, I think it's always good to go visit and see and evaluate your work and then send it out before you send it out just like that. So it's always re-evaluation and then assigning. So that way you can always give the best work to your students, and you can also help your students to learn from that. Okay, so that's how the preview option helps you. And then we have the settings. Settings, we have three options. Let's look into the first option, that is the general option. In general option we have collect emails. So in case you want to make it necessary to collect emails, you can just click on collect emails. Then response receipt, if the person who is writing the quiz or the email, who's taking it up, needs a copy of the same, you can just click on it. And if you want to limit the response to one, you have an option for that, where for each email ID only one response can be taken up. Okay, for students, whenever you're giving a quiz to students, I personally ask you to avoid this option, edit after submit, because this option if it is ticked, it would allow a participant to go back to the form at any point of time and make changes. So let's not encourage our students to do that. So so you can avoid that if necessary, or in case if it is any other information, for example phone number, you can probably give edits it after submit, because they might probably change or they might have given the wrong number. In that case, edit after submit again is the best option that you can choose. Okay, and you can also have a see summary chart after text response, that you can take so the respondent can see what are their responses. Okay, so we can look into the next is the presentation setting. So presentation setting is where after you submit the Google form would look, and if you need to shuffle some questions or anything. But when you select the shuffle question order, it shuffles up all the questions. You need to be extra careful. So I would be a little I'll be more focused on what I'm doing when I'm taking this, because I would probably put all one word answers or something. So because sometimes I had this problem. I don't know what I went wrong when I was sending a Google form. I clicked on it, but then I clicked on shuffle question, but then I don't know, the options never got shuffled. So the questions were different for different options. So I had that trouble. So whenever you're shuffling the question order, I ask you to be extra careful. That's it. You can use show progress bar, which will help you analyze each question accordingly, and it'll be easy to look. Once you look at it, you'll know how many people answered that question, which is the right answer. You can also add a confirmation message once they submit. If you want to tell them thank you for your response, or any message that you want to send out, you can type it here, and it will be received by the person once they submit their form. And we'll look into the most important option, that is convert this into a quizzer. So if you want to make any form into a quiz, you just have to come to this option and turn this make this a quiz option on. Once you turn this question on, you will be able to assign points to each of your question. You will be able to put a feedback to each of your question. You will be able to manually make changes in case their answer is wrong or right. Okay, so you'll be able to see. You'll also have an option where you can immediately publish their answers once after they submit it, or you can retain the Google form until and unless you haven't reviewed it. So in case you want to make few marks changes here and there, you can click on later after manual review. So once this is on, the students will not get their results. Only after you review it and release the marks, only they will be able to see the answer, the total scores of what they have received. Also, when you release, you can also choose what things they can see. If they have missed questions, correct answers, point values. So these are additional options which you can tick, and it'll be visible to the quizzer or the respondent. Yeah, so when you make this settings, when you have taken up when you make any changes in these following three settings, do not forget to save. If you forget to save, changes that you have selected will not be applicable. So whenever you mark it as a quiz, kindly click on the save option as well, so that your Google form will be changed into a quizzer form. So always remember to save this setting. Once any settings is changed, kindly save it. Okay, so let's look into the next. When you make it a quiz, so when you select on make quiz, you have an additional setting that pops up, that is answer key. Now what does this answer key do? This answer key helps you to select the right answer and assign points. Okay, so as soon as the student has finished answering and when they submit, the Google form will match up with what is the answers given by you and tally it up and assign the score to that particular student or the quizzer who's taken up the paper, and will publish it. So you don't have to waste your time on corrections or anything. So once you click on add answer key, this option, a few changes are going to happen. It's going to give you an option to select the right answer. Once you have selected the right answer, You can select the number of points that you're assigning to that particular question. You can also add feedbacks. In case a student has clicked on the wrong answer, you can tell this is the wrong answer, the right answer was XYZ, and so on, so is the reason. And if it is the right answer, if they have selected, you can also comment, give a comment telling well done, good job. And once you have finished with this, you can click on done option, which is right below, and once you have done that, the question is saved and you can move forward. And once you have finished and once you're ready with your Google form, it comes with to a send option. We look into the send option. You can send it by two ways. One is by mail and other one would be by the link. So by mail, you just have to enter the email ID. You can enter the subject and you can enter a message if it is necessary, and then send it across. You can also add collaborators if you are working as a team or a group. Okay. Then sending by link. So in case you're in a class and you want to evaluate your students before you start off a class on the previous knowledge that you have acquired, what you can do is you can create a Google form and take the link, and once everyone is signed in, you can send this Google form link, and once they receive it, they can click on it, they can answer it, and you can immediately see the results. You don't have to wait for long, you don't have to do any corrections. So this way you can evaluate your students immediately. Right, in online platform, when you talk or when you ask questions, not everybody responds, or sometimes students might have internet trouble or a lot of troubles like that, or they might be shy to answer in a crowd. To be safe and to encourage all student participation, I think Google Forms is a wonderful platform. Okay, you can also shorten the link by clicking on the shorten URL. Once you tick that on, you get a compressed URL. You can just copy that and paste it on the message box when you're taking class or anything. You can keep the link active, so anybody with the link, until you decide that okay, I'm going to stop, till then anybody with that link can answer that following questions following form, that is. Okay, so that is sharing by link. Then you have another option, which is an HDMI embed. So in case you are assigning this Google form to a web page or anything, you can use this embedded HDMI and directly paste it there, and then go ahead. You don't have to create anything else. It all by default it gives you this option. You also have collect email address option in case you want to collect it in the last minute. You like, okay, you forgot to collect email IDs. Directly click there, and you're going to have a pop-up box where the students can enter their email IDs and refer. Once I forgot one important question, the name option in a questionnaire, and once I received it, I did not know who sent which questionnaire belongs to whom, and I was panicking. And that's when I realized that okay, I had selected the correct email ID. So based on the email IDs, I could compare my other notes and see that okay, this email ID belongs to so and so person, and this answer sheet is so. So I think in case you forget anything or anything, if you want to tally it across email IDs, or if you want to send back the responses, it's always good to collect email IDs. It'll help you out. So it's again optional. It's up to the maker of the form if they choose to collect email IDs or not. But I would prefer it's a good practice to collect email IDs. Okay. So we finished with the send option. So next, let's go to the response page, the final page where you see all the responses. Once you click on the response page, it's going to take you to this. It's going to look like this. So when you create, the response page is going to be 0 and it's not going to show you any option. It's going to be completely blank. So this is one of the survey responses that I got for one of the quizzes that I sent. 14 of them participated in my class, and that was a quiz competition that I conducted for total points of 20, and 14 of them answered. and you have three options as soon as they attempt. You get three separate options where you can see. One is the summary option, one is the question option, and one is individual option. So the summary option gives you the overview of everything. Okay, how many students answered this question. It's going to give you a compiled answer of every single person who attempted. Okay, so you get the charts, you get the graph, you can quickly look at it and understand, okay, this is my response, this is my this. You can if you want to make any quick analysis, the summary was always going to give you an overview of the understanding of the questions that you have framed and set for the students. Then if you want to analyze or look into each student question wise, if you click on the question option, that's going to help you look into every question. You'll be able to see for each question what are the responses that everyone is given. It's going to be a compiled answer of everybody of that question, what they answered. And next is the individual answer. Individual answer sheet is like an answer script of individual person. You can manually check. That's where you can make the changes if you want to add or subtract points, or if you want to reevaluate an answer. You can do that in the individual box or individual page. Okay, and also there is another important option here, accepting responses. So if you're conducting a quiz for 1 hour, and if you want to keep the link open for 1 hour, you can do that. As soon as you switch this accept response off, no one else will be able to submit their responses. So through this, I think you can also teach their students an important lesson that time is very important. But I request you to be humble to your students and give them an option. So in case anybody is late by 1 or 2, you can actually wait for them to submit it. So that's that. And yeah, you can also extract the entire data into Excel sheet. Your questions will be visible to you as rows, and every individual student's data will appear as rows, and for each individual for each question, all the answers will be in a column based. So all the names will be in one column, and for each name, all their answers that you have written will be in the row wise. So you can easily export it to a spreadsheet, and don't worry about multiple entries in different forms going back and forth through the answer script. Clicking on the Excel sheet page, import all the data files, all the marks assigned, everything, all the answers will be exported to Google Sheet, where you get a compiled overview of everything, and it'll be easy for you to analyze or make any analysis of the following questionnaire that you are passing out. So it's a lot easy. It makes your work much easier. Yeah, so how does Google Sheets help you? Google Sheets help you to compile all the Google form answers into one sheet. Helps you to cover overview of everyone. All of their answers are there in one single page. You don't have to go to question option or in summary option. Everything is there in the Google spreadsheet, where you can view it as one page. You can compare student performance. If you want to look at student A's performance with student B, or if you want to compare previous year's answers, what is his scores towards the present score, it's easy for you to match it up. And it also helps you to realize which student has answered well. For example, you have a question and a few points are missing. So you will know that, okay, this student concentrated on this part, and he needs to revise more on this. Or you can compare two children. Okay, this student is concentrating more, so if I add him to this cluster and perform a study group, so you can pick all the good ones, a little bad ones, a little awesome ones, put them together in a group, so you can help students study collaboratively. I think blended learning is the best way to learn here. So you can make a blended group and discuss your answers or the overview where everybody grows and everybody learns. So that way you can give focus to every student. And finally we have uh, you can also download the Google Sheets, and Google Sheets is another platform like Google Forms by Google, very easy to use and sort all the data. So you can also download it and use it in your personal time, leisure. You can download and keep it in your PC for any further references as well. But in case Google Sheets will help you, you don't have to carry your laptop. You can even view it on your phone or any other devices without downloading. That's why Google Sheets help you. But in case you want to keep it in your personal laptop, you want to save that data and not keep it in a Google sheet, you can always download it and use it for your future reference. So Google Forms also have various other templates in case you don't have much time and you have certain preferences. You have templates where you can use which is already created, and you can make few changes and immediately send it out. So these are the various templates that are available on Google Forms. Now finally we come to the use of Google Form in a classroom. How can we as teachers use Google Forms in a classroom? You can use it for quizzing. You can use it as a questionnaire to analyze your questions, or you want to do a small research on how your class group is performing, or any other thing like that. You can take student survey, you can take feedbacks, you can evaluation of your students on how good it is, how good are they improving. You can also get a graph, or last month they was like this, and then you can compare with this month's graph and see, okay, the graph has gone up, meaning there's an improvement. The graph has gone down, meaning there's a chance that they can still do better. And so it helps you to compare, it gets to evaluate your students, it helps you to evaluate your own performance. How am I teaching in class? The students are doing well, then it's directly impacting on the teacher, that the teacher is working towards it. So that's it. Evaluation. Then you can give a normal class test at any point of time, or you don't need anybody's permission, or you don't need to waste much time separately on tests. You can directly give it, and you can save a lot of time. Gathering students' voices. In case you want to take students' opinion, I think you can send out a Google form and collect a lot of opinions together collaboratively, which will help you to understand the overview of everybody at the same time, or you'll be able to gather much large amount of data, or large amount of voices can be heard by you on what concerns that you're looking for. So that's it with Google Forms.